Our regular meeting begins at 7 p.m. See you then. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 24th meeting of the Aiken City Council. If you're inclined, please rise for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city of Aiken the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your name we pray. Amen. Chief, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As the meeting begins, I will review the guidelines. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed, and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. During public meetings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address council, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from council are posed to the speaker. During the non-agenda public comment section, each speaker has 3 minutes and can only speak once. We now move to additions and deletions to the agenda. I recognize Mayor Pro Tem Kay Broll for this item.
Thank you, Mayor Milner. Good evening, everyone. We're glad to have you here this evening. There are no additions or deletions, Madam Mayor, so I move that we accept the agenda as it was printed.
Thank you. She made the motion, and Councilwoman Broll made the motion. May I have a second?
I second. You did it. It's yours.
Oh, girls and boys. I heard him first, so Councilman Messina made the second. All those in favor? Thank you. The minutes were provided to council for review prior to the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Waldo made that motion.
I second.
A second from Councilwoman Morgan. Any comments or changes? All those in favor? There are 2 presentations tonight. The first is the presentation of the Municipal Associate Achievement Award. Well, hi, how are you? From the Desiree Fragoso from the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Come and tell us about that.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, members of council, Stewart, Mary, Lex, always a treat to see you all. My name is Desiree Fragoso, and I am the Field Services Manager for the Low Country with the Municipal Association. I am here this evening to present to you all with the local presentation of this year's winner for the Public Works category of our Municipal Achievement Award. It is my pleasure to present to you all formally before you all in the community receipt of this award. We presented this officially, formally to the mayor and the staff at our luncheon in Greenville earlier last month. It feels like it was ages ago, right? At our luncheon where a lot of our members, representatives from other cities and towns were there and hopefully got inspired. We have a little video that we want to show you all that we shared with folks at the luncheon that explains the award and explains the project that won this award.
Public Works category, the City of Aiken. As with many cities in a fast-growing state, Aiken has faced development that puts pressure on its infrastructure and its existing community character. Through a partnership with the Aiken Land Conservancy, the city purchased 2,657 acres around Aiken's Mason Branch Reservoir, placing it under a conservation easement and permanently protecting this critical drinking water source from development.
We definitely have embraced the conservation efforts for the people that are coming to Aiken, and because a lot of them are interested in outdoor recreation. And one of our major concerns is having clean drinking water. And with this conservation effort, that will be definitely provided to them.
When the property known as the Brunswick Tract was listed for sale and was under consideration for private development, including commercial space and 4,300 housing units, the city decided to purchase it for $5.25 million. It used fund reserves and engaged in some inter-fund borrowing to be paid off over 10 years to do this. With a $1.9 million grant to help manage the land from the SC Conservation Bank, the city was able to preserve the property in its entirety.
This conservation partnership is essential to the city for our future growth and for our current residents. People move here because they value the nature that we have and the beautiful natural resources. And planning for the future growth that's coming. South Carolina continues to be on the top growing lists in the country of population growth, and so we need to be forward thinking about how we're going to preserve these natural landscapes that people value. In addition to that, it protects our water source. We need to provide clean, quality water utility for our customers, and protecting this land, while it's a challenging thing to do, it's expensive and it requires some resources. It allows us to make sure that we're protecting this utility and providing the quality that our customers expect.
By protecting a water source, the project contributes to Aiken's focus on water infrastructure resiliency, an effort that also recently included a new $70 million water treatment plant and upgrades to aging downtown water infrastructure.
Conservation is rarely a bad idea. I haven't seen many instances where a community regretted conserving land. In turn, I've seen many instances where communities and municipalities have regretted not conserving land. The other thing is the water quality benefits of this project can't be overstated. Not only is the reservoir protected, which is the source of drinking water, so are the wetlands that feed it. So are the wetlands that come out of it. So is the frontage on Shaw's Creek that provides, habitat and water resources to folks downstream all the way to the Edisto and in turn the Atlantic Ocean.
By protecting the land from development, the city is able to promote forest health, offer passive recreation access, provide groundwater recharge benefits to 4 aquifers, and protect wildlife habitat. The city is working with the ALC on several grant projects to improve songbird habitat and reforest native longleaf pines.
Congratulations. This project, as you all know and can see, stands as an incredible example of responsible stewardship and strategic planning, and really highlighting the importance of partnerships. So congratulations, and I hope that you continue to be forward thinking and pursuing projects that improve the quality of life of the community here in Aiken.
Thank you so much.
And I would like to say, Madam Mayor, this project is one that is individually means a lot because it goes back up 10 years. I invited Dr. Harry Sheely here because to come tonight because he played an instrumental role along with several other people, Laura Bagwell, Joanna Sampson, Sharon Richardson, Alan Conger, Rhett Coleman, and Ben Christensen surveyed the property. 93 corners they had to stake, which is a pretty large undertaking for the 2,500 acres. And many others. Staff-wise, I know Mary Catherine Lawton, who now works for the MASC, when the property was purchased, and then Mary Tilton have done a good job with shepherding this, and Peter Kleinhentz has been such a wonderful advocate for the project, and it's something I think we're all very proud of, and I know it started with Harry coming, 10 years ago when there was when John Clem was city manager, and it took about 4 years to get this to fruition. And I know at one time, Harry and I were probably the only people that thought that it could happen before we broached the subject with council, because it was a big deal, $5 million investment. I just knew there would be in the community concern and aggravation, but there was none, and that was very gratifying. And I know, Peter, your first day on the job was when we voted to put the entire property in a conservation easement with the state, and that is leading to a lot of great things that we're now sort of working on in discussions with the Forestry Commission and preservation of other property that is adjacent to this, that's not owned by the city, but certainly the community writ large will benefit from. And it's just a wonderful thing. And also, it's nice to see the city of Aiken's name on there 4 times in a row, or 4 times out of the last 5 years. We won this award, and we won it. We've won it almost 24 times since 1990, so why not make it 25 times?
Thank you for that. Our next second presentation is a quarterly report on the water treatment plant.
Oh, yes. I guess we should take a photo down front with everybody getting the trophy here at home, just as we did out in the lobby of the hotel.
Oh. With Harry.
Get behind them. Just tall. Mayor. In front of. Mayor. Mayor. Right here. Okay. All right.
Can provide some good perspective of just how long it took to get here.
Stewart was mistaken about when we started. I started my interest in it when Fred Kavanaugh was elected mayor back in the 90s, I think. I took him out there to show him that, and I said, Fred, the city needs to acquire this, at least get some easements around Mason Branch Pond, and nothing happened. In 2000, the property came up for sale, and I came to council and tried to convince them that they needed to buy it because of the water. That was my main emphasis. And if nothing else, to save the riparian area, the area around the creek, but nothing happened. And then John Clem came, and we tried one more time, and it was very successful. But the interest in that land has been there for since the 90s, I think. So I just wanted to give some perspective to it. But that's my first time out there was with Fred Kavanaugh. I said, Fred, the city ought to buy this land. And he said, but he didn't say anything. And I want you to know that in 2000 we could have gotten 5,000 acres for $5 million instead of 2,500 acres for $5 million. That's what the price was. So, thank you, and I appreciate y'all doing all this stuff. Thank you for giving me a chance.
The second presentation is a quarterly report on the water treatment plant construction. Nicholas Winkler, Assistant Project Manager from Harper General Contractors, will give us our report.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Nicholas Winkler with Harper General Contractors. I'm happy to give a presentation on the progress of the Shaw's Creek Water Treatment Plant that we're happy to build. Here's a little bit of an outline for the presentation. My hope is that it helps paint a picture as to the progress on site so far. Last time we gave a presentation was January of this year. You can see that photo on the left is from that time, and then the photo on the right is from a couple weeks ago. Hopefully you can see some pretty substantial progress, especially with some equipment being installed in some buildings nearing completion, especially with the admin building, the chemical building, and the electrical building. And hopefully overall the site just looks a little more complete. Here's an aerial view, very similar photo. However, this photo shows in the bottom right-hand corner the utilities building area. You can see back in January, the two slabs for both storage building 1 and 2 have now become complete buildings that are nearly done, as well as a good amount of stone in preparation for asphalt. What you cannot see in this photo that hopefully you find interesting is to date we have installed approximately 7,200 linear feet of pipe that is just below ground pipe. So moving on to key accomplishments, I do want to recognize that in addition to Harper, there's been a good number of trade partners to help us get to this point. I've looked into the numbers today. As of last Friday, 116,000 man hours have been spent on this project since we mobilized December 9th of 2024. So what's been accomplished to date? Some chemical equipment has been installed since our last presentation. Pre-treatment equipment has been installed, which you can see very well in this photo. You can see the flocculators at the head of the plant moving to the sed basins, which is plate settlers and track vacs, as well as the wash water troughs, which are the green equipment in the 5 bays closest to the metal building. In addition, all the structural concrete is complete. We still got a little more concrete, but it's not structural, so that's exciting. And the utility and administration buildings are both dried in, which is a huge accomplishment for our team. Looking ahead, as I touched on, we will be paving at the utilities building here in a couple weeks, and then from there we will move to the plant site, which is what you can see in this photo here. Following that, we will do permanent fencing, as well as tying the raw water pump station into the treatment train, which will allow us the water needed to do plant startup. So we'll work through some photos. Hopefully I can provide a little context or explain what's going on in these photos to give some understanding. Here we've got the filter pipe gallery. So this is where the water comes from the filters themselves and then goes to the clear wells for storage. The filters are located on that common wall on the right, and then the wall on the left on the other side of that is the bulk chemical storage area. Here we have the high service pump station and raw water pump station. You can see all the flanged piping is done, as well as all 10 pumps have been set. So there's a lot going on in this photo. In the foreground, you've got the 2 clear wells for storage. You've got the high service pump station. And then on the right, you have the chemical building. Just to the left of that is the chemical storage area, which is connected to the treatment train, which is the heart of the plant, and then the administration building to the right of that. And then if you can make out in the photo at the very top, that's the utilities building area with the 2 storage buildings. Here you've got another photo of the chemical building and admin building left to right, respectively. This was taken a couple weeks prior to the previous photo, which is why there's no roof on the metal building in the back. Here we have the interior of the utilities building. you can see that we've got door frames and windows installed, as well as casework and lighting. We've still got some flooring to put down, but this building is getting pretty close to being done. So the building we were just in is that brick building kind of in the center of the photo. That's the utilities building with the 2 storage buildings just behind it. And like I said, this area is pretty close to being ready for pavement, which will really make this part of the site look complete. Moving into schedule. So our original contract duration was 791 days. To date, we've had 9 weather days. We have not asked for those to be added to the contract at this point. So we're still working with the 791 days, 623 have elapsed, which means there's only 168 days remaining for our target date of substantial completion, February 8th of 2027, which we still feel confident in. Are there any questions?
Madam Mayor?
Thank you.
So we're on target and on budget, right?
That's right.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah.
How many million-gallon storage is there?
Storage, 2 million gallons.
2 million. Oh, million each, or is it?
Yeah, 1 million per tank. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Yes, sir. Good evening.
I gotta watch myself. Last week I kicked out the speaker. So anyway, good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. My name's Kurt Johnson, 111 Stonington Lane, Aiken. I am the pastor of Lost Sheep Ministry, and we are the outreach for the homeless and the ones that are getting to that point. One of the things I want to bring up today is it's probably 95 degrees out here today, but we are coming up on a winter, and the way that they're trying to track it, it's going to be a wetter and colder winter for us this year. So this is something that we need to be proactive about, and this happens to go with the city and our other partners. But we want to make sure that we don't run into situations we've had in the past where we've still got people out on the street because there's no room in the inn. So that's one thing that we want to discuss over the next couple months so that we can see what we can do to alleviate some of that issue. The other issue that we've had in the past is people living in hotels during the Masters. A lot of these people, they're just a one paycheck, not paycheck, but they only have one paycheck coming in for the adults, and they've got kids living in the hotels too. So what we're doing, and we're going to talk with our other partners, but we want to see what we can do to come up with some shelter for these people while the Masters is going on. And the reason we want to do this is so that they don't have to go to Columbia to get a place to stay and then possibly lose their job here. We've got some ideas about that, but these are things that we want to talk with all of you about. So we will be calling you out. This week, we're still seeing a lot of influx of people that aren't from here. So if you see them, please call. Please call so we can start doing something. Councilwoman Morgan called me that last week so that we could find out about a gentleman. We found out he was still in jail, so that was probably a good thing for him. But there are people out there, and they're not bad people. They've done some bad things, and they're in a bad situation. But there's a possibility that we can start working with them so that that we can get them off the street. So that's all I've got. Anybody? No?
Thank you. Good evening, Lex.
Good evening, City Council. Just, you come up, Mr. Johnson? Oh. Lex Perry, pastor of C4 Impact, 1526 South Boundary Avenue Southeast. I wanted to share, first of all, some good news, praise report. Oh, by the way, Mayor, thank you so much for your visit. Greatly appreciate that. We always have open door policy that anybody can come by and come by and visit and see us. We always enjoy having you there. So far as a van, from Bell Grove Missionary Baptist Church did donate a van. We got a little work to do to it, but looks like we'll have that on the road next week. Praise God. So we'll be able to transport some more folks. That's a 15-passenger van. So that's a wonderful thing. Last month, we had scheduled 133 rides last month, and we are on target to do more this month. But this is going to enable us to do that a little bit easier, and having someone who's designated to drive. And it's going to give us a little bit more time to do more of the case management that we need to do. We have 3 openings currently. They are people are interviewing for them, by the way, but at the moment we have 3 spaces open. As Kurt was alluding to, we are trying to change gears a little bit. We do have another house that we could possibly move in, but I'm kind of holding off on that just a little bit right now because we need to start preparing for the winter. We do have, I have a proposal that I'd like to send you all if you're willing to receive it. Some ideas that we have so far as the winter months coming up as an overflow, as well as for the masters. We're always very forward thinking about these things. And so you can always count on us to try to come up with some answers because we are your front line. We're going to have some ideas. Is it perfect? I'm not saying it is. But if you'd be willing to look at it and give us your ideas or some feedback from it, what we can and cannot do, that would be wonderful. Okay, so I'm just asking if you would be willing to at least look it over to see what's possible is all I'm asking from you. And I know that Mr. Johnson wants to say.
Madam Mayor, Mr. Beedenbaugh, distinguished council members, I'm Rob Johnston, 916 South Boundary, and I'm here to talk about the bigger picture. We all know we have a problem. I was introduced to Lex and C4 Impact only within the last 2 weeks. And after my 45 years in Atlanta and time here, I have not met any agency that's willing to do the heavy lifting from somebody that's homeless, jobless, friendless, hungry. They're at rock bottom. And I've only seen one situation where one person was willing to do it all. And I think their goal is to make everyone who's in that category a productive citizen of Aiken, tax-paying, with self-dignity and respect. And I was so impressed with what they're doing, I had to run my big mouth up here because I have no complaints, no requests, but I want Aiken to be the best that it possibly could be, and it all starts and ends with how we treat our fellow Aikenite, and there was a great want. Count on me to help. Thank y'all.
Madam Mayor, can I say something?
Yes.
God works in mysterious ways. I was trying to help Diane. Diane wanted to do a fundraiser for C4 Impact. And I was telling her about Rob and Pam Johnson. And I said, I'll introduce you to them. They're on vacation now, but when he gets back, I'll introduce you. Well, Diane prepared a letter telling you about C4 Impact. Now, I didn't know Rob was going to be here tonight, Diane, but when I looked out and saw Rob sitting with you guys, I'm like, oh my God, that ain't nothing but the Lord. Because he came from the back and sat right next to you. You've already made the connection. And I'm going to tell you, Rob Johnson is a man of his word. If he said he's going to help, he's going to help. So, y'all in the right place at the right time. And Rob, so are you. Thank you so much.
Could I give just 2 sheets of paper for them to
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sherry Taylor. I live at 910 Barnwell Avenue Northeast in Aiken. I'm here to get some clarity on who is responsible to mow a strip of land that abuts my property. When purchasing our house, we were told that we were not responsible for mowing this piece of land because we did ask. We were looking for a small piece of land. After a month, the strip had not been mowed. I spoke to a City of Aiken worker when I noticed he was mowing the median on Barnwell Avenue Northeast. I asked him about the mowing on Williamsburg, which I live at the corner of Barnwell Avenue Northeast and Williamsburg. I asked him about that strip there, and he told me that he would go get his supervisor. His supervisor was down the road. He brought his supervisor down, and forgive me, but I can't remember his name. And I asked him about it, and he told me that they expect the homeowner to mow this. So I called the realtor, the listing agent, and tried to get some clarity from her again. I said, you told me that this was not our property and we're not responsible to mow it. And she said, well, the South Carolina Department of Transportation is supposed to do that. So my husband and I went to the South Carolina Department of Transportation, and we were told that Williamsburg Street is not on their list either to mow. So I'm just looking for some clarity on this. You know, it's like 1/8 of an acre, and, you know, we moved here because we had a small plot. We have less than 1/4 of an acre. We don't have much to mow. We don't want much to mow. And I just want to know who is supposed to keep this up.
Well, I know that staff will find out for you.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
One more time, I don't see anyone else. We will go on to approval of the consent agenda. Mr. Beedenbow, will you please read the titles of the items on the consent agenda?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 8 items for tonight's consent agenda. No one has reached out and asked that any of these items be addressed or pulled off the agenda by the appropriate time. Those items are the following: an ordinance to annex property located at 1121 Conger Drive and zone the same residential single-family RS15. Second is an ordinance to annex property located at 108 Small Ridge Street and zone the same residential single-family RS10. Third, an ordinance to annex property located at 505 Chatham Street and zone the same residential single-family RS10. Fourth, an ordinance to annex property located at 608 Timber Lane Road and zone the same residential single-family RS15. Fifth, an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at 1213 Park Avenue Southeast from LI Light Industrial to RML Residential Multifamily Low Density. Sixth, an ordinance amending Section 44-85 of the Aiken City Code regarding grease, oil, or sand and fats, oil, and grease control. Seventh, an ordinance to amend Section 4.6.1 of the City of Aiken zoning ordinance regarding parking space requirements in multifamily properties. And eighth, an ordinance to amend Section 5.2.2 of the City of Aiken zoning ordinance regarding historic property designation. That is the consent agenda this evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for all of those. Is there a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion.
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Second from Councilwoman Brohl. Since there's no comment on the consent agenda, we will go straight to a vote. All those in favor? Thank you. We now have approval and discussion of appointees to various city boards, committees, and commissions. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. For boards and commissions this evening, we have sorry for the pregnant pause. The reappointment of William Hall to the General Aviation Commission. That is before council this evening.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept his nomination?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Waldo, and a second from Councilwoman Morgan. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Are there any nominations to consider at our next meeting?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I would like to reappoint John Owen to the General Aviation Commission.
And Madam Mayor, I would like to reappoint Angela Fleming to the Community Development Committee and Dr. Anselmo Arthur to the General Aviation Commission.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to reappoint Joshua Bowling to the Parks and Recreation, and also like to appoint Harrison Howell to the Housing Authority.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to reappoint Josh Raines to the Recreation Commission.
Thank you. Got all that? The next item under old business is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to approve a concept plan for property at Whiskey Road, Stratford Drive, and Mammoth Pass. Mr. Biedenbaugh.
Thank you. You have read the title of the ordinance. We do have this project before council, and at the last meeting, we had discussion regarding the property. We sent the traffic study we received 1 week ago today, as well as the on-call engineer's comments. We supplied the comments to the agenda packet by our on-call engineer. They're dated August 16th of 26. The full study was over 100 pages, so to conserve paper, we provided a link to you to review the study and members of the public. I know we received, Councilman Waldo sent questions to us to review that we attempted to answer. And I'll go over, if I may, the questions and the answers. The question, he asked the city attorney to clarify whether traffic safety, existing infrastructure, cumulative development impacts and planned but not yet completed roadway improvements are factors that council may consider in its decision. And essentially, the city attorney, in a very short sense, said yes, you can consider those. Let's see. Also, could we summarize how the intersection performs under the 2030 build scenario without the planned DOT improvements, particularly any significant changes in level of service delays or queues? And we answered based on a conversation with the traffic consultant that it will not have a significant impact to those, to the level of service delays or queues, this proposed development. What is the timeline and funding status for the planned DOT improvements at Whiskey, Powder House, and Stratford Hall Drive? DOT, and again, they tell us that they will start those improvements in 2028, so that's over a year from now. SCDOT identified prohibitive turning movements at Whiskey Road and Mammoth Pass and recommended a raised median. Is that improvement required as part of this development? Who is responsible for it, and when will it be completed? And that was a condition put on as part of this process by the Planning Commission. And the developer will be responsible for paying for and installing that raised median on Whiskey Road that would prohibit full turning movement out of the property there. And if readily available, can public safety provide the 5-year crash history for Powder House Road, Stratford Drive, and the adjacent Mammoth Pass area, including total crashes, injuries, and fatalities? And the answer was, according to public safety records, 0. And that answered questions that Councilman Waldo asked of council just in the last day, and we were providing answers throughout the day. Also, as I stated, we've provided this summary. We know there's representatives here from the applicant. This project was approved by planning at their meeting on July 14th, and it was by a vote of 5-2, with the conditions read into the record at the last meeting. And council heard this for first reading on August 10th and approved by a vote of 4 in favor and 3 opposed to bring it forward for a second reading. And it's now before you for a second reading and consideration this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this concept plan?
Madam Mayor, I make the motion to accept the concept plan.
Councilman Messina made the motion.
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Second from Councilwoman Broll. Any comments from the public? Good evening.
Good evening, Council. Again, my name's Ben Dingus. I'm with Holbarrett, and I represent the developer. This is Steve Jenkins with McKnight Engler on behalf of the developer. And we are seeking approval of the conceptual site plan for the subject property. The only concern that we are aware of relates to the traffic impact of the development in general, and not a specific tenant use or tenant in general. There has been no public objection or opposition to our intended development. And in fact, we've received vocal support at the Planning Commission meeting on July 14th. I don't believe there was any public comment on the August 10th meeting. Developer met with the Springstone and Stratford Hall HOA to understand and address concerns, and it is our understanding that all of those concerns have been met and addressed. The developer engaged Kimley Horn, and you guys have a copy of that extensive traffic study that has been reviewed by the SCDOT and Aiken City Traffic Consultant, and they've identified the median as an appropriate mitigating measure for the traffic. We're here to answer any questions that you guys may have about our proposed development.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any other comments from the public? Yes, sir. Good evening.
Move that up a little bit. Hello, Council. Clayton Clarkson, 125 Gatewood Drive, Aiken, South Carolina, 29801. This is actually my first time speaking to Council, so thank you all for the opportunity with that.
From that side.
Speaking of thanks, thank you, Councilman Waldo, for speaking up about the traffic issues on Whiskey at the last meeting. And speaking of the last meeting, I know there was some other things that went on around the 2% hospitality tax in regards to the parking garage. And I remember one thing that you guys talked about that really struck me. I remember Ms. Morgan, Ms. Price, Gail, a few of you talked about the process with that. When it came to transparency, when it came to communication, public input. And that's what I think might be good for Whiskey Road right now. Because we're gonna have later on in the agenda, another development coming up on Whiskey Road, right off of Hunter's Glen, just a couple hundred yards from this development. Do they need to have this kind of not full traffic report? Do they need to have the accident reports from public safety? You know, what are we looking for? Might there be a moratorium? Might there not be? Just a little bit more clear understanding about what we're looking to do. I know it's hard to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time because we're constantly getting new developments in while simultaneously trying to figure out a process. I just want to know, whether it be my capacity as a planning commissioner or whether just be a citizen, what council is looking for or not looking for when it comes to developments that should or should not happen on Whiskey Road. I don't need to talk too much about this specific development because I think it's been talked about ad nauseum for years and years and years. You all have that information, but it's more just about that general process because we saw that process worked at the last meeting. There's certainly people who spoke against certain things when it comes to that 2% or for it, but I don't think anybody would say that process was bad or that they weren't heard or that they didn't know what was going on. And just kind of having that in other areas of the city might be nice as well. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for your comment. Any comments from council?
Madam Mayor, yes, as this project is in my district, I had been aware, on my past stints on the Planning Commission about other types of developments that have been proposed for this one corner and the concerns of the adjacent neighborhood concerning that. The one thing that strikes me here, after seeing several different types of intensive developments here, it appears from what's being proposed this evening is a very low intensity use from a traffic perspective. A dental office or a medical office, a small drive-through coffee that's going to be probably 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. I'm not sure who buys coffee after that. A medical office doesn't have hours late at night or weekends. So I think what's being proposed this evening for this one sensitive corner is the best I think that we're ever going to see. And I think we should embrace that for its less intense traffic generation. The project the developer has agreed to limit access to the site. You only have access from Mammoth and the back area. There will be they've agreed to a barrier along the entrance by Mammoth, so you can't make the left turn into the site. So I think they're doing everything that's would be required of them. There's also a comment at the last meeting concerning why don't we wait till the DOT does their work. I looked at the traffic report and it looks like the improvements that are being proposed are not really on point for here. They're going to improve a northbound right turn lane. Well, it has nothing to do with this. They're going to improve a westbound approach, which has nothing to do with this. There's 2 other recommendations in terms of northbound and southbound left turn lanes, which really have very little to do with this. I think the key that, I know the Planning Commission has extensively reviewed this and has granted approval. And the one answer to Mr. Clarkson is that one of the comments that were raised at the last meeting is trying to change the process of the Planning Commission, and that traffic impact studies are required at the application stage, and the comments from our own traffic consultant are received prior to them coming here. So when it comes to the City Council, we say, okay, they prepared a traffic study, our traffic consultant has reviewed it, our traffic consultant says yay or nay. And that's a big help for us to understand if the traffic is going to work. So what we've seen from the Beal Engineering is that they have no concerns on the project. It was a very extensive report from Kimberly Horn. My background is in traffic engineering, and I was quite impressed with the extent of their analysis and also the Beal review. So from my perspective, I think it's a good use for this property.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to, Madam Mayor and Council, clear about my position with this project, because I think it's a little misconception about no way, shape, or form do I believe this is a bad development. But I do believe that it's a bad timing for this particular project. But I support, responsible growth and private investment in Aiken, and my opposition is not directed at a developer or the business that's being proposed. Staff has advised us that individual projects is not expected to significantly change the level of service, delays, or queues, which I received today. So I appreciate staff for gathering that information. But my concern is bigger than just the one project. Significant roadway improvements are already planned for this area, and we still do not have an updated timeline for their completion. The traffic review also identified prohibited turning movements and recommended a physical safety improvement. And I think at some point we have to stop looking at Whiskey Road as one parcel at a time. One project may be manageable, but also we have to consider what continued development collectively means for this particular corridor. So that's why I believe council should have a serious conversation about a temporary moratorium and other appropriate planning tools that allow us to comprehensively evaluate growth, traffic, safety, infrastructure along Whiskey Road. So I support growth, but infrastructure keep up with the pace of growth and not continuously chase it. So for me, it's not yet. And again, this is not a bad development at all. I just believe that it's bad timing. So for that reason, I will vote no tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to comment a little bit about our Safe Streets for All initiative, because I think we all know, especially those of us new to council, how much traffic on Whiskey Road was a concern for pretty much everybody. And we have some good news. We've won an award to get Safe Streets for All to look at what has happened between Whiskey Road, between Pine Log and Chucker Creek. Just for the record, they know that there's been 11 people killed or seriously injured. It's called a KSI crashes during a study period. We know we have a problem, and I know we can work together to do it. Nobody's against growth, but we are about to open up the Powderhouse Connector, the Tribute Parkway. We don't really know the influence on that at this time. We really don't. And we've in what I'm reading is we have been awarded some money to look at that, to identify this high injury network and to make a serious plan to be accountable, to look at it so that suicide lanes are not bad. And I know we're going to be doing that. And there's going to be a cost to it, but we need to have those discussions about it, because I know a lot of people don't like to go past Pine Log. Now, I will thank Mr. Russ for telling me to go out and look, and I did, and some other people in this room. I drove it a lot. I didn't know all the residences were back there. I was delighted to see how lovely they were. And then I tried to figure out what's the right thing to do. And I realized it really isn't Stratford Hall that's the problem, because as Russ explained to me, they have the unnamed road. There are different options for those residents to come and go, and it makes sense. And it is better than some of the plans that were voted down previously, the Parker's Kitchen. But I am concerned that it isn't just the Stratford Hall side. It is that major intersection at Powderhouse, and I'm not sure we're being really responsible about fixing it first. And I've read a lot of the work that was done. I was appreciative of the traffic studies, but like Councilman Messina said, we got it a week ago. We need this beforehand. And I'm requesting that we get some of this Safe Streets for All policy studies that they tell us what we need. They do. And
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify. We did the council adopted the action plan for the Safe Streets for All.
Yep.
And the implementation grant that we received, which is the $10 million with match,
Yep.
will go to those specific things that were identified as safety concerns along Whiskey Road. So we're working toward it.
And I think that's the transparency and accountability we need to have as we look at the numbers. Councilman Messina said, how many new residences in that area? Quite a few.
Not in this
planned,
not
not on
area.
Stratford, but the whole.
It's more on the north side.
Yeah, and on the Tribute Parkway.
And Tribute Parkway.
Yes, and that's going to flow in. So my concern is that we need to take a look and be a little better about, not against this development whatsoever, especially given the length of time, but I also think I kept looking at different time frames they were saying when they were going to implement the traffic corrections. And I am concerned about council having a really good idea with a responsible developer about what's going to happen and why. So it's not against you all. It's about, are we planning appropriately? Do we really understand that that median's going to be 4 feet tall?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If the 4 foot tall, I mean, there's a lot going on here that.
Well, they have agreed to that.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there's some things that we need to know. When is it going to be done?
It will. I assume it'll be done prior to occupancy.
It will be part of the civil
That'll be a
plan.
condition of the approval.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, if it's required by planning, they can't go and just do whatever they want. It's
Right, that's
required.
They would not get a
Go
certificate of
until that-
occupancy.
That's right.
Yep.
So all the traffic improvements have been done.
Okay.
And what I want to add to this is I don't disagree with doing a study of whiskey, but I agree with Commissioner Messina. You know, we're looking at this, and all we have to base most of this on is what we have seen in our experience, and Pete has more experience than any of us, and the fact that we've had a traffic study and our traffic engineer. So if we're not going to trust them and follow what they say, then we just don't do anything. And you know, I'm not willing to do that. We pay people to give us this advice. And having been a planning commissioner, I was a planning commissioner for 7 years before I was a council person. This is a good development. And there have been others that have been rejected. That's water under the bridge. But I'm looking at this and judging it fairly, and I'm going to support it tonight.
Thank you.
And I just want to add one more comment to that. The work that they put in to get us all the information for this project, well taken, and I really do appreciate that. But my concern is I have a constituent base that is very, very concerned about the Whiskey Corridor right now. And I have to bring their concerns with me as I make that decision. So I just want to put that on the record as well.
Yes, Madam, also in that regard, my constituent base is directly affected. They live on Stratford. And the fact that they were not vocal at the Planning Commission meeting, they're not vocal tonight. The developer has met with them. I'm aware of that home association. And they have to agree that this is the least intense traffic generation that they're ever going to see here. And so I would prefer to approve this than wait till someone comes in with another Parker's Kitchen and another gas station or whatever and try to force it down our throats. Take something that's low-key, it works, it doesn't, they directed traffic away from the intersection by the way of their egress points. It's a very low generation project, traffic generation project. Again, our traffic consultant has stated it's acceptable. So if any council member has a question of that traffic report, please raise it right now.
My biggest concern with the traffic report is the increase from the Tribute Parkway once it opens up, and how that's going to affect everything along that area. And I'm not saying what I'm voting yay or nay. I am saying that as a council person and as a person responsible for what we hear in the community, traffic is a problem.
I agree. And I think the city should do a corridor study, traffic study. And I still question the Tribute study, but now that we have more and more impact, yeah, let's do that with any future build and analysis on Whiskey Road, specifically looked at. But we have an application before it this evening that, again, I can't say it enough times, is a low generation, trip generation number. I can't imagine not approving it.
And may I add one more thing, Madam Mayor? Ms. Moultrie, please correct me if I'm incorrect, but in reading the Beal Engineering, it says, this is currently in the engineering phase by SCDOT. It's also included in the Arts Transportation Improvement Program. The preliminary engineering is happening right now. Right-of-way acquisitions are planned for fiscal 2027, $360,000, and construction plan for 2028, $1,560,000. Okay, so that's construction in 2028. This particular development, it says on the page before, will not be completed till 2030. So that intersection should be well underway or finished before this particular development comes into fruition. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's the way I would read that.
Thank you
Ma'am.
very much.
In addition to that, there is a note on that bottom of that other intersection improvement. It does say note that in recent discussion with SCDOT, the timing and phasing for that intersection has not been fully determined yet. There is a note on there.
But timing and phasing is something you can do rarely to a cookie. I used to do that for a living. It's very, very simple process to do. I can do that tomorrow.
I just feel like I have to say something, that this parcel of land is for sale. So previously, there was a business that wanted to come, and the people of Stratford were very upset. And if I saw a room here full of people that were belligerent and upset and scared about something, I would be much more inclined to vote against. However, I think this is a very good project, and I do have to say that Aiken is growing, and if there's a parcel of land somewhere that looks like it can be used for a project, it's going to get sold. So that is my feelings. Thank you. We'll take a vote now. All those in favor? I have council, there'll be four for the
I think
project.
Leslie's got her named.
No.
And
Leslie.
Are you?
I'm sorry, 5
All right.
for the project, and all those vote against. I'm sorry, abstain. So Councilman Waldo is our opposed, and Councilman Morgan is abstaining. Thank you so much. That is the vote count. Thank you, gentlemen. The next item under old business is second reading of an ordinance to amend the concept plan for 199 Willow Run Road. Mr. Beanbow.
Thank you. This is an ordinance amending the concept plan for property located at 199 Willow Run Road and owned by SPCA Albrecht Center for Animal Wellness. This project does require a concept plan approval to allow a accessory building, detached accessory structure for residential use as well as meeting space on this almost 10-acre parcel. And council heard this at first reading August 10th and approved it unanimously to take to second reading. And that was after the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval at their meeting in July. This is before council tonight for second reading, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend the concept plan?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs, and a second from
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Brohl. Are there any comments from the public? Any comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Fourth item under old business, second reading of a master bond ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of hospitality fee revenue bonds of the city of Aiken defining the terms and security for such bonds and other matters relating thereto. Mr. Bean.
Thank you. We do have second reading, and this is a master bond ordinance, as you described, providing for the issuance and sale of hospitality fee revenue bonds of the city of Aiken, defining the terms and security for such bonds and other matters related thereto. This is the master bond ordinance that following this would be a series bond ordinance. But what we have is amending the master bond ordinance, which will allow a series bond ordinance to be issued for construction of a parking deck and related matters. So I guess we'll be doing the master bond ordinance first and followed by a series bond ordinance. So I know Mr. Pope is here, who is our bond counsel, and I think there might be more questions as it relates to the second reading of the series ordinance. But we need to have the master bond ordinance for consideration first, and this is second reading of that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion.
Second.
Second from Councilman Waldo. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Much like the other, this is the final item under old business, second reading of a series ordinance of the City of Aiken, South Carolina, providing for the issuance and sale of hospitality fee revenue bonds in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $7 million. Mr. Beanbo.
Thank you. This is a series ordinance of the City of Aiken, South Carolina, providing for the issuance and sale of hospitality fee revenue bonds in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $7 million, authorizing an amendment to the parking deck development contract and amending the fiscal year 2026-27 budget of the City of Aiken to appropriate funds for the parking deck project and providing for other matters related thereto. What we have is this is part of the development agreement that was passed in December 2025. The project we're looking at now, the cost is very, I got another number that's lower than the $11.35 million that was updated in the memorandum. But we are looking to put down $4.5 million. The source of the funding is interest that has accrued from plutonium funds for this down payment. We would look at financing either 10 to 20 years, depending on when we get, when the request for proposals come in the next few weeks. Our hope is we would be able to finance this over a 10-year period. We're optimistic that based on expected cost and annual payments, that will fit in with what we would be looking at with revenue from the hospitality tax. Again, the cost should not rise above this $11.35 million. I had a meeting at 4:00 this afternoon with Oliver, and that number, after some value engineering, has gone down back to around $10.9 million. Based on some value engineering. Again, being very cautious, they have contingency in line items and contingency in just as a overall line item in the budget. So again, we have this before you this evening for second reading, and I see Mr. Pope has moved up here to the front if there are any questions about the mechanics of this. Certainly we would come back to council, assuming this passes, with the RFP and a recommendation for council's approval, and that. Okay, so we would go ahead and report that to council. This accounts for that, but I'm going to let you take over.
do. Madam Mayor, members of council, nice to be with you. Gary Pope. Stuart, two things I wanted to just note in the ordinance. First is this delegates authority to U.S. City Manager and the Mayor to execute the transaction within the parameters that are set forth in the series ordinance. The other item I wanted to note was that in section 4.01, 4.03, we currently note $4 million being appropriated, and if that's 4.5 from the agenda, we would just want to make sure that figure is adjusted in that document if we need to.
Yeah, the number, that's the thing, is the number keeps, again, it's based on cost of materials and value engineering. I do believe maybe adding an up to 4.5 would be the appropriate approach because of material cost. However, after today, and there'll be some additional value engineering coming up, I'm optimistic that it'll be at that 4 million number.
Okay, just wanted to note that, and for Gary, however, we need to do the amendment if you do want to take it to 4.5. If that's the will of council, or leave it as is. I just didn't want us to pass it at 4 and then immediately need 4.5.
Yep. Yeah. Again, I guess to kind of cover ourselves, I think we would be okay. After the report I got about 4.5 hours ago, I think we would be okay leaving it at 4 million. But based on a call last week, that's why the number increased.
Understood.
Did you want to add anything to?
No, I think we'll be fine as written in the ordinance.
Okay, then. Do I hear a motion?
We would need a motion in a second.
Mm-hmm. Do I hear a motion, please?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Thank
Second.
you. Councilwoman Roll.
Second.
Councilman Waldo, second. Comments from the public? Comments from council?
I have a clarification, Madam Mayor, in the first paragraph regarding this cost has gone up $500,000 since first reading.
That number's gone back down.
Okay.
It's gone up. It's up about $150,000 now. I think we quoted it's about 10.9 million. Again, when I wrote the memo, I had a meeting with everyone, and with cost of materials, with inflation, it had gone up. However, they value engineered out a good amount of money, almost $500,000, conservatively about $500,000, to get it down to 10.9 million. And again, that was information I received about 4:00 this afternoon, right before we stepped into our work session. So I do believe that leaving the down payment, leaving the ordinance written as 4 million plus this information, I feel comfortable with how we have everything laid out for council this evening, and I don't believe the number will. I think we're pretty fixed at 10.9.
So you don't think it's going to fluctuate with this?
It could, if it does, it might fluctuate slightly down.
Okay.
But I don't believe it will fluctuate upwards. Okay. But I guess if I could say with 100% certainty, I would, Mm-hmm. But I feel very comfortable saying that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. We now move to new business. The first item is first reading of an ordinance to rezone 5 acres located at 102 Gaston Road Northeast from industrial to planned commercial and approve a concept plan. Mr. Biedenbow.
This is an ordinance, thank you, Madam Mayor, an ordinance amending the zoning of property located at 102 Gaston Road Northeast from I industrial to PC planned commercial and approve a concept plan. The applicant has is proposing some duplex residential buildings with approximately 20 units. The commercial zoning would be due to the plan to do short-term lodging, and in accordance with the council policy from October of 2006, since it is over 5 acres, and the provision of utility services, it must comply with the PC or planned commercial zoning, which requires a concept plan to be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by City Council. There would be the applicant is proposing to build 4 duplex units, 2 units with 2 bedrooms and 2 units with 3 bedrooms. Guests that frequent this that Highfields will find on-site lodging and enhancement for their stay. With the city paved road access off of Gaston Road, guests find easy access in a quiet environment. And with short-term event-driven guest occupancy, the trip volume will be minimal. Once guests arrive, they will be on the 75-acre facility and can access their stabled horses or the concert venue on foot or by golf cart without access to public roads. The parcel is currently developed with an office building, which will remain. The concept plan proposes a parking area in the middle of the duplex buildings, which appears to provide 16 spaces, which is 2 less than the parking text amendment recently approved by council on first reading and subsequent second reading tonight on the consent agenda. The plan does not provide for passive or active recreation, but the parcel is adjacent to Highfields Equestrian and Music Events Facility, for which the housing is associated. PC projects require any freestanding signs to be monument type. The located of the proposed duplexes and parking lot will significantly reduce existing tree canopy. An existing tree survey and landscaping plan will be required to confirm that the tree canopy will be replaced by conserved and proposed new trees. The concept plan shows a shared driveway with the existing on-site office building, which services Gaston Road, which is serviced by Gaston Road, and pedestrian traffic between the 2 properties, since they're interconnected with the event center, would be anticipated. They have city sewer, sanitary sewer and water lines available. Sewer capacity will be contemplated and considered for approval by Aiken County's Public Service Authority. The concept plan does not denote the proposed open space percentage, but staff estimates about 75% of the property will remain undeveloped. The concept plan shows a minimal 30-foot separation between the proposed duplexes, which complies with those separation standards that are required. The property is not adjacent to any property zoned or used residentially, so landscape screening buffers are not required. A planting strip varying in length between 10 feet and 25 feet and street trees are required along Gaston Road frontage, and daily trip generation will depend upon events at the adjacent event center. Those present at the Planning Commission's August 11th meeting unanimously voted to rezone from industrial I to PC planned commercial with the following conditions: that the number of parking spaces and parking lot dimensions comply with the applicable zoning ordinance standards. Second, that either the existing single lane section of the driveway be improved for 2-way traffic with SCDOT permit or striped and posted for 1-way movement. Third, that an all-weather pedestrian path be provided along the duplexes in the northern property line. Fourth, that the development complies with the required minimum building setbacks. Fifth, that the development complies with all applicable tree preservation and landscaping standards of the zoning ordinance. Sixth, that the applicant submits a revised concept plan stating the conditions of approval. And seventh, an agreement stating the conditions of approval signed by the applicant. And this is consideration of an ordinance to rezone 5 acres at 102 Gaston Road Northeast from I industrial to PC planned commercial, and approval of the concept plan with the conditions recommended by the Planning Commission as before you this evening.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to accept this?
I so move.
Second.
Wait now.
I was second.
Councilwoman Morgan made the motion. And
Gail made the motion.
I'm sorry.
Gail made the motion.
Council.
It's her district, so.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion, and Councilwoman Morgan seconded the motion. Are there any comments from the public? Are there any comments from council? I personally would like to say I think this is a fantastic idea and great use of space. And thank you for planning this and repurposing a property. Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's a great, it's the Biddle property, is that right? Yes, ma'am. What a wonderful way to celebrate what you can have right next to Highfields. I mean, it's awesome.
This is Rick Cram.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, Richard Cram, 118 Surrey Circle. Good evening, thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. We acquired the Biddle Real Estate Office last winter and have been trying to figure out what would be the great purpose for that. And my daughter graduates from UGA this December and wants to be a CPA, so I think that that's going to lend a place for her to maybe put up a shingle there. But the duplex, we've been asked for years by our clientele, why don't we do tiny houses? Why don't we have, you know, somewhere for these folks to stay on site? And I found they just decided that maybe that's what I probably propose. So I'm excited that you think that this is a great idea.
It's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming north.
Absolutely.
Okay, all those in favor? Thank you, it's unanimous. The next item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to approve a historic designation for 524 Coker Springs Road Southwest. Mr. Beedenbell.
Thank you. You read the title of the ordinance, and the applicant has requested that contributing historic designation be provided or be applied to this property. And the definition of contributing is, quote, structures that are 50 or more years old or that have aesthetic or historical importance are normally classified as contributing. Contributing properties are worthy of preservation, but are often more tolerant of change than properties eligible for landmark status. Partial demolition or relocation might be allowed. This allows the DRB to determine what structural changes are appropriate of it if demolition in part or in whole would be considered with a historic designation. Even with a contributing status change to the interior of a structure are not under the purview of the DRB and do not require a certificate of appropriateness. Only changes proposed to the exterior that are visible from the public right-of-way are under the purview of the DRB for a contributing structure. The DRB met on July 7th and considered this request. This property was not included in the 2010 Historic Resource Survey and was not given a designation, even though it is located in Historic District 2. This property is located within the district, Historic Overlay District in Historic District 2 and is zoned single-family stable RSS. The assessor's report lists a construction date of the stables as 1978. The property does not have a historic resource survey card. At the DRB meeting on July 7th, the board approved a recommendation. And at the Planning Commission meeting, the commission recommended the contributing historic designation, and it is now before you for first reading this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Price made the motion.
Second.
Councilman Morgan had her hand up a
And it's
long
mine.
time ago. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
hers.
gonna have to ring bells here.
I don't mind rescinding mine.
Yeah, whose district?
My district.
She gonna have to speak up rather than put her hand up.
Thank you. Okay. Point well taken. Speak
I'll
up.
make the motion, Madam
Thank you.
Mayor.
She seconded the motion. Okay, are there any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Madam Mayor, the owners are doing an incredible job fixing up this property. They've willingly wanted it to be contributing to match the Ron Point historic property that it's adjacent to. So this is a great news for our neighborhood.
Thank you. Unanimous. The next item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 915 Osborne Drive and zone it residential single family, RS 15. Mr. Beanbo.
Thank you. You have read the title of the ordinance, and this is approximately 1.3 acres, and it is located in the Aiken North neighborhood, and those present at the Planning Commission August 11th recommended annexing and zoning RS 15 residential single family.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance to annex?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman
Adopt
Price.
this.
Councilman
Gailey, what?
I second.
Councilman Diggs, second the motion. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Next, we have first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 1115 Concord Drive and zone it residential single family, RS 15. Mr. Bean.
Thank you. You read the title of the ordinance, and this property is approximately 1.1 acres, and the recommendation is to zone it residential single family RS 15. It's located in Aiken Estates in the Conger Woods neighborhood. Those present at the Planning Commission's August 11th meeting unanimously recommended the annexation and zoning RS 15 is before you for first reading.
The PDOs.
Thank you. Do I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I so move.
Councilwoman Morgan made the motion. I need a second, please.
Go ahead and say.
Second. Second.
Councilman Waldo, second the motion. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Next item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 909 Osborne Drive and zone it residential single family RS 15. Mr. Greenville.
Thank you. This is approximately 1.13 acres, and the recommendation is to zone it residential single family RS 15. And those present at the Planning Commission unanimously voted at August 11th's meeting to zone it RS 15 and annex it into the city. It's before you for first reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance to annex?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion.
I second, Madam Mayor.
Second from Councilwoman Morgan. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. The next item is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 1104 Hampton Avenue Northwest and zone it residential single family RS 10. Mr. Beanbo.
Thank you. This is in the Pinecrest area neighborhood. It's approximately 6,300ths of an acre. The Planning Commission at their August 11th meeting unanimously voted to annex the property and zone it residential single family RS 10. It's before council this evening.
Thank you. I need a motion, please. For
Motion.
I second.
Motion made to adopt,
Price.
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price and Councilwoman Diggs second the motion. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Again, unanimous. The final item under new business is first reading of an ordinance to waive right of first refusal for property at 65 Wyndham Boulevard owned by Avera Management Services, LLC. Mr. Beanbo.
Thank you. This is an ordinance authorizing the city of Aiken to waive its right of first refusal in the property owned by Avera Management Services, LLC, and located in Aiken Airport Industrial Park. You may remember over a year ago, this property was before you for this same reason, for a liquid nicotine factory. Well, that fell through. So now we have I found out over the weekend, post-publishing of this memorandum, that the firm that wants to purchase it is Union Agenter Incorporated, which is a biotechnology firm dedicated to animal health. They would like to purchase these three parcels that formerly housed GlaxoSmithKline, SmithKline Beecham, as the name changed over many, many years, and it was last Avara. which manufactured pharmaceuticals. This will be pharmaceuticals except for animals. And since it is in the city's industrial park per the Verine's industrial park per the covenants, we have the right of first refusal to purchase the property back. And it is recommended we don't exercise the option to purchase an empty pharmaceutical plant back, and see if Union Agent or Incorporated would purchase it from Avara. And this waiving of the right of first refusal is before City Council this evening.
Thank you. Could I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Councilwoman Price?
Second.
And Councilman Waldo second the motion. Comments from the public? Any comments from the council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. We have 3 items for petitions and requests tonight. First item is approval of a resolution to provide water and sanitary sewer services to 2620 and 2622 Columbia Highway North. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. You did read the title of the resolution. This is an application for for a parcel of approximately 2 3/4 acres. Since it is outside the city, but is requesting water and sewer service, we do have a policy for said provision, which establishes the process, decision criteria, and conditions for this development. It is on US 1 Columbia Highway North near the exit 22 interchange to Interstate 20. Is city water service and sanitary sewer service available, and all materials associated with said systems must conform to the city standards and the design approved by the city engineer. The site will have to comply with City of Aiken standards for tree protection and landscaping, signage regulations, open space, separation, building separation requirements, utility design, access management requirements, and traffic study impact analysis. All those present at the Planning Commission's August 11th meeting unanimously voted to recommend approval with the following conditions. First, that the property owner shall execute an agreement for the property to be annexed into the city at the city's discretion when the property becomes contiguous to the city limits. Second, that the development plan complies with the landscaping provisions of zoning ordinance 4.6.7. Third, that the development's freestanding signs shall comply with the city's signage regulations. Fourth, that the cross-access easement shall be provided in accordance with the zoning ordinance section 4.8.9, that the fifth, that the traffic impact study shall be approved by SCDOT and the city's traffic consultant, and that the developer shall construct any traffic mitigating measures that are identified as necessary. Sixth, that the applicant shall sign an agreement stating the conditions of approval. Seventh, the applicant submit the revised plan for approval by city council. And this is before you as in the form of a resolution to provide water and sanitary sewer utility services. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion.
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Price. Comments from the public? Comments from council?
I have a question if Mr. Patel is in the room. How are you?
Good evening.
My name is Peter Patel. My address is 518 Seminole Place, Augusta, Georgia, 30907.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, you may not want to respond to this. Any idea of the use of this property that you're looking at?
Sure, it'll be a Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
One of the users is Dunkin' Donuts.
Just wanted to be sure. So that's a good location to have the business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, Mr. Patel, if I'm looking at this correctly, there's going to be 4 businesses there. One is the
Currently would be just Dunkin' Donuts, and then there will be a future development.
future development. You haven't signed those as
Not
of
yet.
yet. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor, just one brief comment. I I'm normally not in, would like to approve extending water and sewer outside of the city. And we're extending water and sewer into the county. I think that's a discussion for another day, but we're using the city's resources of water and sanitary sewer for the county. However, in this situation, you got water and sewer right and you're going through the property. So we're not extending it to them. It's already there. I don't know why it's already there, but it is. So a discussion for another day, but I'd like to really discuss why we're extending water and sewer to other areas besides ourselves in the future. Soapbox comment.
Any other comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you.
And I can say, I think the reason why you have the water and sewer there is the Shaw plant that was built in the early 1990s. I think that's how we ended up with the water and sewer service on that side of the highway. We also have it obviously in the industrial park as well. It kind of flows all through there, but it was initially put in, I think, in the early 1970s as part of potential industrial development.
The next item is approval of a resolution to provide water and sanitary sewer services to 10.54 acres at Whiskey Road and Hunters Glen Road. Mr. Bean.
Thank you. This is a request to for water and sanitary sewer service for approximately 10.5 acres on Whiskey Road at Hunters Glen Road. And as the prior item, the policy for the provision of water and sanitary sewer service to unincorporated areas applies here. The applicant, the development Lotus Park of Aiken would be an independent living community with 34 individual two-bedroom homes constructed in 17 duplex residential buildings and one 4-story structure that would include 120 independent living homes, 84 one-bedroom units, and 36 two-bedroom units. The planned amenities include a sloped entry pool, walking paths, a theater, fitness studio, salon, bistro, elevated dining experience, dog park, and community garden. This property is in the College Acres water service area. The chairman of the College Acres Public Works states that they would allow the city of Aiken to serve water to this project since we have an existing 12-inch water main on the west side of Whiskey Road. The developer would extend a water main to the project and install a master meter to service the domestic needs of the project. Fire lines would also be included that will provide fire protection for all community-based on the city of Aiken's Department of Public Safety requirements. We have a 10-inch sanitary sewer main which runs through the middle of the property and would have to be relocated for the development. The site engineer has been in communication with the city's Engineering and Utilities Department about the project and confirmed that the existing systems in the city of Aiken has the capacity to service the project, but it would be subject to approval by the county's Public Service Authority. It is within our city's fire district. Those present at the Planning Commission's August 11th meeting unanimously voted to recommend approval with the following conditions. First, that the property owner shall execute an agreement for the property to be annexed into the city at the city's discretion when the property becomes contiguous to the city limits. Second, that the development plan shall comply with the landscaping provisions of Zoning Ordinance 4.6.7. Third, that the development's freestanding sign shall comply with the city's signage regulations. Fourth, the landscape divided medians shall be provided at the development entrances. Fifth, the developer shall provide an agreement from the College Acres Public Works District for the city to provide water service to the proposed development. Six, that the turn lane review for the project driveway shall be reviewed and approved by SCDOT and the city's traffic consultant, and that the developer shall construct any traffic mitigating measures that are identified as necessary. Seventh, the building separations shall meet the approval of the city's fire marshal. Eighth, that the applicant signs an agreement stating said conditions. this is before you tonight for consideration.
Thank you. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Waldo made the motion. A second.
I second.
Second from Councilwoman Diggs. Comments from the public? Any comments from council? Oh, I'm sorry. It's too fast. Good evening, gentlemen.
My name is David Banks. I'm the project engineer, concept plan. I prepared the concept plan. It's not a concept plan, but the plan we're planning to submit to the city. I'm really here to answer any questions y'all may have on the project. It was about 2 years ago today that this council, maybe not the same group, approved water and sewer extension of this property. And my client, Mr. Patel, signed that petition, but we've made some changes to that, so we're here requesting just basically a revision to that. Obviously, it's a new approval, but we have gone through this process before with a very similar type project. So, if you have any questions, we'll be here to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments from anyone? Thank you, gentlemen. Comments from council?
I just have a question, and I'm yielding to the city manager to help me here regarding the difference, and I'm in support of this, and the question regarding the 10.54 acres on Whiskey and Hunter's Glen for water and sanitary sewer services. And the previous one, this is on the south side, and the previous question was on the north side for water and sewer services, Mr. Councilwoman Pete, that you asked, and what's the difference in the services that, based on the question being asked?
Well,
So that I can understand what's...
Sure. First, our water and sewer districts are larger than the city limit boundaries. Those are approved ultimately by county council.
Mm-hmm.
We provide water and sewer if council approves it and the planning, well, if it goes to the planning commission, they make a recommendation to council, and then the council would approve it or not approve it. And in the past, there have been occasions where it has been approved, and sometimes it has not been. I think a classic example is the hotel just across Hunter's Glen Road from here. Mm-hmm. In 2002. Council was asked to provide sewer to the property, or water. They were asked to provide a utility to the property, and the council rejected it. So the developer of the hotel went to the city of New Ellington, and they ran the line up, and it got developed and built. When we have projects like this, those applicants, whether it's commercial or residential, pay the full water and sewer rate, whereas if you're inside the city, you pay half of what the full rate is. So we offer those services. Typically, the line's already run there. Mm-hmm. So it's adjacent. Because certainly running new service, especially sanitary sewer, can be quite cost prohibitive to a developer. These lines have been here a number of years, and as Mr. Banks said, this is a project that came before council
10 years ago.
some years ago, 2 years ago, and I guess they had to make modifications to the plan, which necessitated the coming back to the Planning Commission and subsequently to council for consideration.
Thank you.
Any other comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Final item on tonight's agenda is approval of a resolution adopting the Lower Savannah Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. We collaborated with representatives from Lower Savannah to develop this plan. Historically, this has been done by Aiken County's Emergency Management Division, but as Hurricane Helene showed, these sort of responses to weather events and other disasters don't know county boundaries, and a hazard mitigation plan, regional plan involving the counties that make up Lower Savannah Council of Governments region was put together, as well as municipal governments. Those counties include Aiken, Allendale, Bamberg, Barnwell, Calhoun, and Orangeburg counties, with all the municipalities. Adoption of this plan will maintain our eligibility for certain federal hazard mitigation funding opportunities. We've gotten monies in the past through this program to do a number of projects, and this is time to review the 5-year plan as we last did it in 2021. This proposed updated plan will remain in effect for 5 years. We attached the summary document, as the full plan is 737 pages. So we did not want to publish a 1,300-page agenda, but we did provide a hyperlink in the memo for members of the public and council to review the entire plan. This is before council this evening in the form of a resolution, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor, before we do that, I need to recuse myself because of being a board member.
Okay, thank you for saying that. Councilwoman Price is going to be absent for this a resolution. Do I have a motion, please, to accept this?
I move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Morgan.
I second.
Councilwoman Diggs, second the motion.
Yeah.
Any comments from the public? Not many. Not many comments. Oh, that's for Leslie. Not too many people left to make comments in the public. So comments from council? Comments? Oh, sure.
We're not on non-agenda yet. We're still on this item.
Sorry.
She wants to make a comment.
I was just going to say, Madam Mayor,
It's coming up next.
I wanted to mention Dr. Molnar from COG was here during our work session, and I had asked a question. He was very good at explaining. Doing this as a region gives us more leverage, and we get more funding, so it makes a lot of sense to do it this way. So I was happy to hear his explanation, when she did a great job with. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Any other comments? All those in favor? Thank you.
And it's 6-0 with one abstention.
Right, 6-0 with Councilwoman Price absent from the vote, recused herself from the vote. Thank you. I will wait for her to come back before our next item. We will now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Ms. Teresa? You're ready? Thank you for being so patient.
Thank you for having me, Madam Mayor Petty, also Teresa Eyes on Aiken, 622 Washington Circle. I'm here my entourage, they left me. They left because they're very disappointed. I told them I would stay and go over some of the same things, I guess, that we are asking for, but it's as though there's not a lot that can be done, I guess, but there is a lot that need to be done. And that's where I come back again with the donut holes that we're all trying to fight and fix and trying to find a solution. We go to county council and you have to wait until the very end of their meetings to address anything that's non-agenda. I've gone to code enforcement, and I've had to wait 2 hours for somebody to come in at code enforcement to address certain houses that are dilapidated, et cetera, that's in the county, because it's not city. You have 3 or 4 houses, county, 2 city, et cetera, et cetera. I've had city, thanks to Teddy Umstead and can't think of my other guy's name. There's a house directly behind me where the homeless, and I advocate for the homeless, by the way, so I'm not terrified of them. However, there's another house that's directly behind me where they've knocked all the bricks out and they live underneath the house, and so now they start grilling under the house, which was scary. So they came and red flagged that the other day. And they told me to stop going over and trying to mitigate the problem myself and to just contact law enforcement. But you get tired of calling law enforcement because it's the same repetitious stuff that you're calling for. And I know they have bigger fish to fry, so I try to mitigate the problem myself. And I probably should be scared, but I'm not, which is why I look like I look most of the time. I know how to dress. I have clothes, I promise you. But I stay comfortable because I'm never comfortable, if that makes sense. And so if we could somehow possibly get county and city together because of this, just like Marty Sawyer mitigated the problem over at across from the YZ, where the apartments were, where all the drugs, and you got 50 to 100 people deep in that one area that most people were scared to pass by. I've even talked to a lot of our college students that will not come through Hampton Avenue because of Hampton Avenue being what it is. And it's a slum area. I've addressed a lot of people that own homes there that are out of state. They are listening. We'll see, TBD. But I have, brought it to their attention. If you own the property, please fix the property up, because otherwise we're out there cleaning up what need to be cleaned up, because county is so huge they don't have time to just focus on Hampton Avenue. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So
Thank you.
If we can come up with a solution for Hampton Avenue, that would be part of the problem. That would be half the tackle itself right there. I don't know what we can do. I know my time is up.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Ma'am.
I think it's 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know my time is up. But thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Maybe we can come together and do something, but it's a nightmare where we are pretty much still. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Are there any items from the city manager?
I do have multiple items. I want to report that Thursday, Doherty Road will be closed. A portion of Doherty Road will be closed at 9:30 p.m. until Friday morning, 6 a.m. We will be doing a water line repair. Doherty Road in that area around 921 Doherty will be closed to through traffic in the work area while the repair is being completed. We will have a detour in place and we'll get that publicized out. But again, we expect minimal inconvenience to our motorists in that area, as it will be closed starting at 9:30 in the evening and reopening no later than 6 a.m. Friday, August 28th. Also, we had, as reported, South Boundary, the DOT was nice enough to install a 3-way stop sign. We had no notification that was going to happen, but we appreciate the efforts of Senator Young. And the DOT told him that it would be installed before the end of the month, and they surely met that mark. So public safety was out today doing some enforcement. We asked DOT to come put some flashing signals on South Boundary in either direction, as it was a new phenomena to motorists to have stop signs on South Boundary. We will be getting with you later this week on a ribbon cutting date for the first phase of Tribute Parkway, which will provide much needed traffic relief to Whiskey Road, as was discussed earlier. That will take place the week of September 28th, and we'll get an exact date and time to you. And last but not least, I want to note the Police Athletic League's Blue Night Run 5K will take place October 9th at Citizens Park. There'll be a 1 mile fun run at 6:30 that evening and a 5K race at 7 p.m. that evening. So you can register for this at aikendpspal.org, aikendpspal.org. And again, that's going to been posted on appropriate social media pages. So that's all I have in the way of announcements today, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for the updates. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Second.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion. Councilman Waldo seconded the motion. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.